what's going on, guys? Welcome back to AriesEDC, the maker space. And we have a really cool guest today on Meet the Maker. We are doing Meet the Maker again, and we're hanging out with Shawn from Feather EDC. Really cool guy. We met on kind of TikTok. He hit me up, and come to find out, he's local, fairly local to me, about 45 minutes away, and he has been doing some really cool stuff, and I can't wait to share his work with you. And some of you have already gotten one, so that is pretty stinking cool, especially when it comes to the production bloom. We got some really fun things for that. So I carried this today. He makes excellent leather slips, and he can do that not just for the Kubi bloom, but any knife that you guys have. So Feather EDC. This is a pocket dropper. I threw this in my pocket today, and it's absolutely comfortable, easy to pull the knife in and out. And it also, and Shawn probably doesn't know this, but it actually fits my custom bloom as well. So really stinking cool that it not just fits the production, but it fits the customs as well. So let's introduce you guys to Shawn with Feather EDC. What's going on, Shawn?
Hey, what's going on, Scott?
Welcome in. Yeah, I when you sent me all those sheaths, I was playing with them, obviously with the Kubi bloom, which is what you were basing that pattern off of. But I also was doing my custom, which is my personal custom knife, and it fits in there too. So that is, which I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. That's the beauty of leather, is that there is a little bit of give there, and it's still going to be nice and tight, and it's not going to fall out on you,
right?
Depending on the handle size, etc. But for the most part, even though you wet formed it to the Kubi bloom, which we'll talk all about it, but the custom fit in there as well. So that was cool. So thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Evening. And I got to tell you, with just the stuff sitting in front of me, I've been able to play with a little bit. I think I'm going to throw one of my blooms in this one tomorrow at work, and I'll be carrying that with me at work.
Great.
So we'll get into it. So everybody's saying hi. Let me say hi to everybody who is in here. Trouble Bunny, what's going on? Just so you know, Shawn, Trouble Bunny is another leather worker. She's doing some really cool stuff. She actually, I'm showing this off, Trouble Bunny. I hope you don't mind. She actually made this for me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She actually made that and put my maker's mark in there.
Oh, that's really nice.
So
good job. I love
it's
that.
a leather portfolio, so I always keep it here. She was very kind and sent that along to me. So yeah, so we got a bunch of people in here. Kathleen, hello, moderator and channel member. Shawn F, channel member. What's going on? B Shady, what's going on? Marco, Jim Miller, what's going on? Jim, moderator and channel member. Donnie Bless is an amazing knife worker, but he does folders. And so I guess you could throw a folder and a slip joint and a leather sheath too, but he does some really amazing work. So Donnie, John the engineer, hello. Denise is here. Denise was actually got one of your.
She did. It's very sweet. Yeah, thank you, Denise.
She got that. Yeah, Denise now has a leather slip for her Kubi bloom, which is absolutely awesome. So welcome in, Denise. All right, so Shawn, like I explained to you off camera, we're just going to learn a little bit about you, what got you into this, what kind of drives you, and just kind of what you're working on. So I guess first things first, why leather? Why are you working with leather and doing that?
It's just, for me, it's kind of an art. I saw, so what kind of got me started in it was that I would see every knife that I ordered had a Kydex sheath, and there's nothing wrong with Kydex. I still have sheaths that are Kydex that I use and carry. Yeah, they're great. But I wanted something with a little bit more personality, and a way for me to incorporate kind of my artistic side into it. So I really like leather, working with leather, and it just gave me. There's a lot more possibilities with leather, crafting something really neat that would last. That's beautiful. So that was kind of really why I steered to that. It actually started with kind of doing pocket organizers, with they carry like the flashlight and pen and that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it started with that, and then like, well, I really, I'd really started. I buy a lot of smaller. I have a lot of smaller fixed blades, and I wanted to carry those in a pocket, and I just thought, why not start doing the leather sheaths? So that kind of took off from there, where I'd start making them, and then I guess friends started requesting them, and then other people started requesting them, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to start a business doing this, because it's just the availability to other people. So it's been great. The one thing I like about the EDC community as a whole is that it's not really a competitive type environment. Everybody really talks to each other, shares ideas with each other. So everybody that does leather sheaths, or I think most people that do, are pretty. They're all leather sheaths, but they're different. I can look at like Dylan at Oak City Leather. His are different than what I build, or the other ones at Redeem Creations, or they all have their own style, and we all talk, so we all share stuff back and forth. So my thing was just being able to create something that I like for me, that I would carry, and people seem to respond to it. So.
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing about, and that's just not only leather, that's knife makers too.
Right.
Like, we all talk to each other, and we're all here to help each other. If there's something we're stuck on, then we can always reach out to do that. Denise said, y'all, Shawn makes good bookmarks too. Yes. And I have some here, which I'll be doing, but these aren't bookmarks. They're leather straps. So, and Shawn was nice enough to send me several of them over. So I have a couple of them, which I'll be probably end up doing future giveaways for you guys. Not this one, because that one has my initials. That one's mine. So thank you very much, Shawn, for that. But we'll be doing some future giveaways with just little leather straps. So that is awesome. Pocket droppers are the best dress sheaths. Yes. And here's mine. Like, you asked me kind of what my favorite colors are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just like the classic kind of deep, rich brown that I'm a huge fan of
right.
Or yeah. Black, black is good too. But that was my first choice today to do. And I got to tell you, the clip, I don't know where you get your clips from, but it's just done really well, Shawn.
No, thank you.
That the knife fits in very well. And it's not like, I could wear that on my belt. It's not going to come out. It's not wiggling around in there, but it's easy to pull out and easy to push back in with no problems, just like you would expect from a sheath.
Right.
And, as much as I do like Kydex, because I have tried to make a leather sheath. I just didn't enjoy the process as much as I enjoyed doing the Kydex. I can do them faster, and I have not perfected, but I've become better at making them. And so it's an easy thing for me. But I got that was a joy to have in the pocket today. It was great. So thank you so much for that one. And we'll do that. So, So how long have you been doing it for?
Well, I'm seriously in probably the past year, but off and on for several years. Actually, a friend of mine joked the other day is that I'm an Eagle Scout, and I was in Boy Scouts. And so one of the badges we got was the leather crafting and work badge, and he posted, this was literally like, I don't know, 5 days ago. He said, I said, the leatherwork merit badge carries on. It's just something that I've always enjoyed. When we first moved to Florida from Texas, that one of the first things I did was go to the local saddle shop and start. It's a Brown Saddle Shop, and started talking with the owner there and coming up with different ideas for designs and things like that. It's just something that like I said, I've been doing off and on for several years, but it really took an interest whenever I started focusing more on my everyday carry things. Kind of making a transition into what the things I have to have in my pocket every day. I have to have, obviously my keys, but I want a knife, I want a flashlight, a lighter, just kind of the basics that I want to carry. And it's just, how do I carry without everything, falling around in my pocket?
Yeah.
So I started off with folders, and then gradually, as I started making fixed blades smaller and smaller, it just seemed like it's something I was more pulled toward was that, and I kind of like the elegance of a pocket sheath with it was the EDC organizer for your pocket. So
Yeah.
It's basically everything's kind of combined together, and then so I just started making sheaths, I guess, about focusing on that about a year ago. It was just kind of moving toward that. Now we are going back to doing pocket organizers. I want to start building some of those. And what's funny is just today. So I did this sheath today. This is a little bit bigger, but this is the Kaiser hair, and you can see I put a little tortoise on the.
Awesome. Yeah.
So awesome. The hair and the tortoise. But so this was like a design I did with the kind of that tie-dye purple, and then there's the matching. So I put it building on that. So it's kind of those ideas.
Show those off again. Show those off.
Yeah, sure.
What was the other thing? I'll make you big so you.
Okay, so this is just right now. Just a wallet, just a simple EDC everyday carry wallet. I haven't finished this one yet, but it was out of the same leather because I just worked on this today. But it's the same pattern and everything, so it's all matchy. Cool. And I like everything to kind of coordinate. So I'm weird like that. I like things that coordinate. So
Denise asked wet molding. I know,
yes,
but I'll let you explain what wet molding is.
Wet molding is basically where you take a knife, and you can see it kind of forms around the knife. Like here's a good example of a knife that I have. That's you could really see I don't know if you can hear that, but when it goes in, you just a little bit of draw to pull out, and then you hear it kind of click in. That's so the knife doesn't fall out. And so what you do is you have to wet the leather. We put saran wrap basically to seal the handle of the knife. It's not so much a problem on G10, but something like micarta, like a burlap micarta, especially, or any kind of micarta like this. If you wet form around there, it could potentially discolor the micarta or damage the knife. So we don't want to do that. So, but essentially, it's taking the knife and putting it in a sheath and forming the leather around that knife. So it's formed to that specific knife. So that's the reason when people ask when they want to order a sheath, I always tell them, I have some knives in stock, but I can't afford to buy every knife. And there's so many knife makers out there right now anyway, that they're specific and they come with specific models. So I need the knife in order to wet form it so it fits securely. What I don't want to do, and I learned really early on, I saw another sheath maker had this problem, was that people would send in measurements, or people would send in about the size of the knife or what they want, but there's a thickness, variation in knives from the handle material. So you can make a knife that's, both of these are great examples. You have two knives with two different thick handles. So you might get a knife with a thicker handle that may not fit in the sheath the way it should, or you may make a knife that slips out of the sheath, which can be dangerous. So when a customer gets it, if they put their knife in it and they can't get their knife in because it's not been wet formed, because initially when we wet form the knife, it's tight getting in there until we wet mold it. Once we wet mold it, then it fits snug. If I sent you a sheath that hadn't been the wet formed around the knife, you probably wouldn't be able to get the knife in there without really shoving it. It could potentially damage the sheath, poke through the sheath if you push too hard and end up hurting yourself. So that's the reason. So here's like another example of something that I'm kind of working on right now. I mentioned the EDC organizers. This is one that I'm just kind of toying around with for an idea, but you can see how it kind of folds around like even the pin. That's wet form. So that's what that does, is that whenever it allows it to come in and out somewhat easy and snug, but it still maintains the shape around whatever was in there. So
show off that one. Your EDC organizer.
Yeah, so this is just something where I'm toying with an idea on right now, but I just wanted to show the wet form basically. But this is something this is strictly just development. I have a couple of these that I'm trying to arrange around to where it carries like a flashlight here, pen here, and then back here is a lighter, but it's a little too thick, so I want to be using a thinner ounce of leather for that. But everything we do is wet form for that reason. We want it to be snug. We want it to, you don't want to go in and get a space pen and your cap's still in your organizer, or try to pull it out, or trying to put your knife back in your pocket, back in the sheath. This sheath's clipped to your pocket because the clips we use are pretty tight. The idea behind these type of clips like this, if I could show you, is you can see that pinch is on there. So they make some sheaths that Discreet Carry makes one it's a good one that it kind of digs in, not as much as like an ulti clip, but the point is that some of you'll see some of these that have a kind of like a curve on the end of them and that you can slide in and out of your pocket.
Yeah.
The problem with those is when you pull the knife, the whole sheath comes out with it. Some people don't like that. So, but the wet forming process allows it to retain its shape to where it clicks in there and it doesn't fall out when you hold it upside down. That's ideally what you want. You want it to be snug, not overly tight, but you do want it to be a little snug in there for some protection.
Yeah, and I can attest to that, guys, because I had that in the pocket today, and the knife came in and out of the sheath very easy. And I have had other sheaths, leather sheaths, where I had that problem. I'm trying to take the knife out, and the whole thing's coming out of my pocket. Where that didn't move at all. It stayed right in my pocket. I was able to pull it out, put it back in, but it's not going to fall out on me.
Right.
And I think the only other thing that you could think of when you wouldn't mold, what I think for what I understand it, the only thing that people, and we're talking fixed blades, because there are people making little leather slips for just like traditional folders that maybe don't have a pocket clip or anything. And might not need to wet form that particularly, because you're just going to throw it in there and you're taking the whole slip out and pulling the knife out of the slip instead of, you're just protecting that your folder instead of everything else. But definitely suggest wet forming a sheath. And what I like about the leather that you're doing is you have options. So we have the clips. You have the clips which fit in the pocket very well, but then you can also do holes on the side,
right?
So that if you wanted to appendix carry,
right, and that was
your own clip on there, there's options to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of, you actually inspired that, because a lot of the knives that we have that we make sheaths for are just drop pocket. And when I met you, first thing you said was I appendix carry. So I'm like, okay, well, let's look at something that we can do that works similar to what he normally carries, and that's kind of what we came up with, or I came up with was that option as well. So this was kind of the prototype of it, and I wanted something that was a little bit more elegant. But I like the colors. I like that California sunset kind of orange.
Yeah.
So we did that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That one. It's
And
just
are you dyeing that, or are you
oh yeah.
purchasing the leather to
No, no,
look
no,
like?
no. Everything that I do. So like this one that I did today, I've got one that if I can keep it out of my wife's hands, this one is one that I did. Well, it's a copy of the Kenduru from SEEC.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so this one's the reason why she likes it is a tiny, tiny knife. I don't know if you can see that.
I saw pictures of this, and it's pretty cool. That
I
thing is
mean, it's tiny.
I like
So
small stuff. So
yeah, it's a something like this that it's just so I did the dye work on that. This is one that I'm currently working on right now. It's kind of a blue. And then this is another one that I did for a knife for. I kind of like the Persian style,
yeah,
Persian style and harpoon blades.
that's fun.
So the this one that I'm actually building now is actually for this, which is a
Okay.
so it's
Yeah,
kind of,
that's
but you can
Persian
see kind of
style right
matchy. Yeah, I kind of matchy. But no, I basically what I'll do is I'll get the measurements of kind of what I'm trying to build. So like something like this, and then I'll know roughly what the measurements are. If you can see, this is kind of blue and purple.
Yeah, and
So
you dyed that.
I dyed that. Yes, correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll dye this. And then once I do the dye process and kind of get a size, if it's a knife that's in production, typically what I'll do, like with yours, a good example is that I'll have a template for it. So I know about what leather to use and then what the size is going to be, and then just kind of take it from there.
Cool.
The knife is all so I'll labels like I do a lot of the mini harpoons, and this is my template for the mini harpoon.
Okay.
And
The Kaiser mini harpoon.
Kaiser mini harpoon, and that's what these two are.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about the
I
leather,
like that one that has the match. Yeah, that one. That's awesome. That you matched the
I matched the handle. Yeah, correct.
That's awesome.
So so it's little things like that leather gives me a little bit more freedom to be artistic and create like that, and kind of come up with some ideas to where I can dye different colors to either match the knife or a theme or just to make everyday carry items that we normally carry more fun, or something that that's because knives are collector items too. People like having their gear. So
and that's why I wanted to, when you reached out to me, I wanted to try to do it because I have a production model out. It'd be cool to give somebody a different option because everybody, especially with EDC fixed blades, people are very particular on how they like to carry them.
Right.
So if they just have a Kydex option, then they're out. Like it's very hot or cold. There's no gray area in there. It's black or white on how people enjoy to carry. And I'm the same. Right. I mean, I enjoyed that, but I like keeping a pocket knife in that pocket. So today I didn't have a pocket knife in that pocket. I had to put my knife in a different pocket. But so it was cool. Trouble Bunny asked, she was like, I'd love to know where you got the hardware for the loop style. And I'm assuming she's talking about this.
Right.
And the same place that Trouble Bunny, I can answer that one for you. He got it the same place that I get all my loops, so she knows. Rory wants the purple one. Is that shaving cream marble dye?
Yes.
Okay. 1931 Leatherworks, obviously. He does leatherworking as well, so that is pretty cool. Yeah, he does some really good stuff. He's done a couple of my knives. A couple of customs. People have sent him some of my customs, and he's been able to do that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So does the bloom sheath have both the clip and the loop? Well, Shawn, they're all custom made, so you can get it however you want. If you want it a clip, then he could do a clip. If you want it the loops or holes to do a loop, if you want both, I'm sure he could do both for you too.
So one of the unique things about the one that's the orange one is you can actually remove the loop and put an ulti clip or something in those two holes, and so you can pocket carry.
So he left 2 holes here, and that would totally fit an ulti clip. I have one here, and it lines up perfectly, and you could do an ulti clip, or there's hundreds of different clips on the market that people would like over an ulti clip. I personally have a couple ulti clips. I'm not a fan. They're too hard. I find them very difficult to
that was they're hard to get off, and just my experience, I have several, is that they end up, I wear shorts a lot being here in Florida, and they end up tearing up my shorts, my pants.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to give people an option. So with that one, if people wanted to carry it right pocket or left pocket or appendix or scout, they had that option to do it. So that was kind of why we made that way. So
here's your ulti clip, and it lines up fine with the holes, but yeah, it's not my preferred method. Rory, so you can reach out to him. It's all scrolling along the bottom, guys. You can look up Feathers EDC, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So that's where you reach out to him on either one of those platforms, and you can reach out to him if you're interested in seeing if you want a leather Kubi sheath for my production. There you go, Rory. Oh well, you're gonna talk about something else. Oh, so all right, Blue. I hope you guys figure that one out, man. So my buddy Blue Minotti here, he lost his whole house to a tornado, basically, and we've been doing a bunch of fundraising for him and everything else. Yeah, we got to work something out. Okay, yeah, she's gonna check that out. Very good. Yeah, so and I have not shared anything about the Raptor yet, Blue Minotti, just so you know. I haven't shared any of that. But yeah, so I love it that basically you're not just getting a custom sheath, which is done very well and finished well. It's going to last forever. I know you were very critical on some of these to yourself, like I'm redoing it. I think it was the orange one where you were like, I don't like it, I'm redoing it.
I redid it. It's just you spend a lot of time doing it. So some things I'll come up with if I'm going to be doing a lot of a certain type of knife. Like one of the ones that I did was this one was the deckhand. And so it took me a couple of times to kind of really figure out what I want. And I keep a notepad, a drawing notepad next to the bed. I keep one where I kind of design what I want, play with the design a little bit, cut it out, and then work it the way that I want to work it. And then like, okay, here's a template I'm going to use, and I use that template. And so those are pretty standard. But some of it's just so different. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it is a custom sheath, but part of the thing that I wanted to do was have the ability to create something artistically, but I didn't want for people like myself getting started off that where you buy, where you have to buy an expensive knife to get an expensive sheath. So most of the sheaths are under $100, which is, it's real leather. I use 6 or 7 ounce depending on what type of build I'm doing. But 7 ounce is pretty decently, pretty decent as far as thickness. It is something that will last you a while. So I wanted something that people could essentially, our motto is, crafted with purpose, carried with pride. We want something that's going to hold up. We want something that's going to last. So even something like, this little knife, which I started off with, is the Walmart, the Elite. So because some people, I mean, it's a great knife. Some people don't have the means to get a $200, $300, $400 knife. And the people that do get a $200, $300, $400 knife, they want something nice to carry and protect it. So I see I've seen knife makers that make great knives, and they'll get a Kydex sheath. The Walmart knife that I just showed you, that's a great example. I mean, it's molded plastic, and it's like, what are you going to do with that? It's not even Kydex. Kydex is a great option. So it was just something for me to expand creatively and offer something to people that they can afford, that'll last them a long time.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because as much as I do love my Kydex, having that pocket drop option, I know, is very, very popular right now. They make that as their primary carry, and then the pocket knife is kind of a secondary carry. So it's a really cool option to have. And I was really happy that you reached out and we connected, so that there's different options available. You guys, this is like a more rounded version in the pocket. I really like the colors on that one. Really, really cool. I think that would go well with either the blue. No, I'm just kidding. That goes well with your blue bloom or the Ultim bloom. But that's a perfect example of the wet molding, where, guys, that is not coming out. It's not coming out. The leather is going to hold it, and and this is the thinner.
Yeah, that's the 6-ounce leather. So typically on smaller knives, I'll use the 6-ounce leather because it's a little slimmer. It's not as, you can see, it's not as thick. But when you start getting to the bigger or heftier size knives, then I'll use I'll use a 7-ounce. So like the sheaths that I make for the this is the one for the Kaiser Mini Harpoon. These are you can see there, that is 6-ounce leather. So it's obviously a little bit thinner than using. Here's the one for the tunable. So you can see the difference in the thickness just on the leather between just 1 ounce of leather. So this is a little bit more more steered toward the smaller type knives, where if you have a bigger type knife, like this is the tunable Tiny Dancer. I mean, this is a pretty stout knife. Yeah. But so obviously you want to use a thicker type leather for something like that.
Yep. What's up, SC Knife Monkey? Denise said shaving cream marble dye. So not many people probably understand what that is.
So that's a process of taking, basically you take shaving cream and kind of flatten it out in a disposable pan, or some type of bucket or whatever, and then you'll take your leather, whatever leather you have, and you'll put droplets of different colors of shaving cream, or sorry, different colors of dye in the cream.
Grit dye, or just any kind of dyes, or leather dye?
Yeah, it's a leather dye. Yeah, I use Phoebings. That's who I think most leather makers are familiar with. Yeah. But you could get different colors. So and then you just take some type of tool or straw or something pretty small, and you just go back and forth with the pattern. So these, believe it or not, these were two different. Although they look the same and they're all the same, these were done at two different times. So even though they match, they were done completely at two separate times.
Yeah. But as you're using the same color and the same process,
same color, same process, right? So then you start getting into colors like this, which is basically a red and a blue and a green and just various colors. The one that you have is
you do it all at the same time.
I know what colors will make what patterns. So like the one. Yeah, so like that, I know what those colors are and about where to put the drops consistency wise to do that. And then so cool. And then you just take your leather, like this leather piece. The important thing is to tape it off at the back where your knife is going to be, because if you have a knife that's got a micarta handle on it, for example, and you put it in dye and you get dye on the back, when you put your micarta knife in there, your handle's going to get dyed eventually. So that's why you want to, seal it or make sure you do that. But tape off the back, and then you take the piece of leather and set it on top after you've done your swirl. And I let it set for probably 2-3 minutes, take it out, hose it all off, allow the leather to dry, and then you have your pattern.
That's so cool. I didn't
yeah.
You see, that's so awesome, because you don't. I mean, most people when they're doing their leather, you're just going to get your typical nice rich browns or blues.
Mm-hmm.
So to learn this process, that it almost sounds like a science experiment type of fun activity.
It is, and it's a creativity, because some of it you look at, you do, and you're like, man, I bet you this would look really nice, and you do it, and it's just like, that didn't come out good at all. So I've tried different things. Like I wanted to do a yellow and a purple and a green. I was like, that's going to look cool. And the trick is to, so this question always comes up too, is that, can you dye your leather first and then do the shaving cream? And the answer to that is no. It doesn't work as well. What happens is something like this, where you dye it one color, and I wanted to show that, and then you put the other color. Well, the dye's already in there, so it doesn't stick as well.
Once it's dyed.
Yeah, once it's dyed, it's dyed. So you could take, like I tried it once with a while back. This looks like a typical blue. What I was trying to do was blue with black marbling in it, so I put it in black, but you can't see the black. It just looks blue. So there's a definite process to it, and the more you mix it up, obviously the more coverage you get, and just trying to keep it consistent.
1931 Leatherworks asks, what weight do you typically use for your welts?
It's typically the same.
Well, hold on. Let me explain what the welt is, and correct me if I'm wrong. Right. The welt, for everybody, the welt is the spot in the middle of the two pieces, and that typically is very important in a leather sheath, especially for a fixed blade, because that's where you're cutting. That's where the sharp edge is going to rub or possibly could hit. So that protects the blade from cutting through the stitching or anything else. So that is the welt. Did I get that right?
That's correct. So to answer that question, it's basically, it depends, because ideally you want the welt to be about the same thickness as your blade, but some blades are thick at the top and go down to the center. I typically this is just me, my process. I typically go with whatever leather I'm using is what I'll use the welt for. But like on this one, this is the mini harpoons that we do. The sheath there, you can see that's a 6 ounce on the outside, but the welt is a 7. So the welt's a little bit bigger on those. It just varies from knife to knife, and everybody, and every knife, every sheath maker, they're different. I know Dylan over at Oak City Leather, he uses like a 5 ounce, which is a little bit thinner than what I use. Jonathan over at Radine, he uses a 5 or a 6. It just it depends on the maker and what their preference is. What's his name? I'm trying to remember. Double X Knives. Neil Green at Double X, he uses an 8, which is thicker than what I use. So it just depends on the sheath maker and what what they're dealing with. I mean, obviously a thinner blade, something that's a little bit more slicey, you can get away with using a thinner ounce leather. It costs less. But you don't want to use, you don't want to use something too thin. But most knives, I'm comfortable with. My range is 6 or 7. That's about my range. I think anything less than 6 to me just feels really thin. This is just my preference. But we're all different. I know Dylan. If you guys haven't checked out Oak City Leather, I mean, he makes some great stuff too. He uses expensive leather from Italy, and Taylor by Cortez uses another high-end leather.
Taylor, I've seen a lot of Taylor stuff.
Yeah, he makes beautiful sheets.
Beautiful.
So
for a lot of different people.
there are a lot of different people. Yeah. I think Jacob Ginsburg over Jacob Creates uses him.
Yep. Yep.
So there's a lot of different, and our styles are all a little different. But the thing with, the sheaths that typically what I try to do is I try to use a certain kind of leather. Mine is going to be more for everyday carry type knives. Knives that like the Kubi Bloom or knives that are typical of what people have, not a specific, $800 knife with that's not my market. That's really not. Mine is for everyday people that carry everyday knives. And so like with the knives, if you can get a deal on a knife, and then there's a point where we run a sale, I mean, you can pocket carry a great knife for $100, $125 with the sheath and the knife. So that's kind of our market to where what we want to cater to. And we like the fun stuff like the pocket organizers with the knife sheath that match. And there are groups on Facebook that you'll see that are just dedicated to the matchy stuff. And some of us like that.
It's that whole pocket organizer where you can put a folder and a flashlight and a lighter and a pen and I've seen people come visit me and they've had, look at this, and they pull out this pack and it has all the different things, and they just throw the pack in their pocket and they go. That's awesome. I mean, it's a really cool idea to do.
Yeah, it is.
But it's also based on whatever that person wants to carry too.
That's what I was going to say. It is, but it's very, very specific too. If you have the basics, like I carry a knife, a flashlight, a lighter, but my job, full-time job, is as a claims adjuster, and I do sometimes have done field inspections where a light comes in handy, or I want a pen with a notepad, or little mini notepad that I could make a quick note or whatever, or even carry something like this. It's just a notebook. It's about the size of a wallet that I can throw in my back pocket, but I need a pen for it. So something like this, with a little notepad, and then have a pen in there. But some of the issue that I had with you have like a little space pen, and then you have a mini flashlight, is that it all can get in your pocket, get jumped up in your pocket with a lighter on top of that. So I don't smoke, but I still carry a lighter.
It's always a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think that goes back to my Boy Scout days. It's just one of those things, you always carry a knife, and if you can carry a lighter, great. Yeah. But a lot of the Zippo lighters and things, they all they make different kinds of those. And some people want to be real matchy with they want the knife that matches the everything. So
you're preaching to the choir, some of these people, because that's the thing is I haven't seen them yet, but they'll post pictures of their carries and everything is color coordinated, and they have every color of each thing. I know the master of that is Father, who I haven't seen him in here yet, but he is the master of matching his pen, his folders, his fixed blade, his whatever it is.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. So I have this is a Zippo lighter that I have. Okay. This is the handkerchief that I have that's very similar to the lighter.
Yes.
And then I'll carry this with it. So it's all very matched.
Father, he's missing it.
I have a lot of things like that where a handkerchief comes in handy too. So I usually carry pen, lighter, handkerchiefs, things like that. And I just want something. I don't want everything getting mixed up together, and so I know where everything is in my pocket.
That's cool. 1931 Leatherworks said he's been using 8 and 9 ounce for everything.
Really? And that's fine. Like I said, there's no right or wrong. It's what you prefer. Like I said, Redeem Creations, he uses a 5 ounce. I don't know if you guys have seen Neil Green over at Double X. He makes some great, really high end, beautiful sheaths, and he uses 8, 9 ounces. But it's just depend. It's what you want to carry. It's what you feel comfortable carrying.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, I I build things because I match. I'm just an organized freak. I don't know, but I like what works for me. I was carrying a 6 ounce, and I noticed on the larger knives it seemed a little light.
Okay.
It's like what I sent you. It works great for the bloom. That's a smaller knife.
Yeah, you can
I
get
think
away
if
with
you,
it.
I think if you had a larger knife, it might feel a little too thin. So it's just your personal preference. If you like 8, 9, use 8 or 9. There's
Yeah.
no right or wrong.
I'm digging for my sheath to see what weight I used. It looks like what was this one? This was a 6?
That's a 6, correct.
Yeah. I think I used 6 for mine, and I am not going to show this.
Oh, show it. Come on.
Because so this was the first one I'd ever done. So,
okay.
And I did wet form it to the knife, which is
Good.
all
Good.
put away and stuff, and it works. I did just a little loop on it, and but it's very rough. The welt area looks very ugly. I didn't give myself enough material to make everything look nice, is what the problem was.
There's no criticism with it, because when you started making knives, I'm sure you didn't just go make a knife and go, aha, this is the perfect knife and never had a mistake. Part of the leather crafting, especially leather crafting, is that you're going to make mistakes. That's how you get better. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning anything. So that's why with even, I'll experiment with stuff, or like what I sent you, like, hey, this is a new concept. Give me some good and bad. You kind of work it out. And you say, okay, this is what I've got. Okay, this I like, this I don't like. You adjust it. And you're going to make mistakes. I mean, you're going to make mistakes where I know, like I said, I've learned, and especially with leatherworking, and as I'm sure it is with knives, when you make a mistake, it can get expensive sometimes. But it can also get frustrating, because you get to a point where you're like right at the end, and then you do something stupid. I had just the other day, I was I had a belt sander, just this knife sheath that I've been working on for hours, and had it on the sander to go, and the belt broke and cut right through all that leather that I'd spent all that time designing and all this, because the belt, and it's just, you laugh it off. I mean, you're just like, okay, well, it happens. It's going to happen, but you get better. You learn things, you learn from your mistakes, and that's part of it, is experimenting. Some things that I do, like this, totally didn't work at all, but at least now I know. So, that's a step in the right direction. So
1931 Leatherworks said he's been trying to find these clips like that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to give out your secret on where you
Yeah, I honestly, when it comes to leatherworking, leather crafting, like I said, this is not, you'll see people that work together and help each other. And those actually, you can order those through Double X Knives has them. You just reach out to, they're on Instagram, I think, but he sells them. He sells them to Dylan over at Oak City Knives. Dylan uses those as well. He has that. I don't make the clips. It's like if somebody wanted a discreet carry clip, discreet carry concept.
You're purchasing them somewhere, right?
Yeah, right. I don't make those. So, some people like the discreet carry clips, but you can get them there. I don't like the clips that come with like I said, that kind of horseshoe, or not horseshoe, but that little ramp on it, because it gets caught on stuff. Sometimes when I've carried in the past,
that type of clip that has like the ramp.
Yeah, exactly. So they make those, and some of them are titanium and smaller, and they're great. But I actually I found out about those clips because from another sheath maker, Parable Knives. That's what he used, and I asked him. He's like, "Yeah, here you go. This is who I use." So it's not. We don't. It's not competitive, because again, we all do something different. If you look at the sheaths that I build, and you look at the sheaths that Cortez uses, they're not the same. If you look at Redeemed Creations and mine, they're not the same. If you really look at them, so we all do something different. We all use kind of the same material.
You're all custom makers, so
right.
Me and somebody else could make the same pattern, but they're going to end up being two totally different knives at the end of the day,
right?
Because we're just doing two different things. So yeah. And Jim said that Jack Wolf, Taylor Cortez, is doing all of Jack Wolf.
Yeah, stuff. Jack, his are great knives. And there's a lot of knife makers that are out there that TKell's another one they make really good knives.
Knives by Nuge.
Jacob Creates.
Brandon Park. They're all doing stuff, and they're all using Taylor Cortez or somebody else to do their sheets.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all. And like I said, he builds beautiful sheets, and if that's kind of what you're looking for, is that style and that type of carry. I think he makes kind of like I don't want to say coffin shape, but that's his style
though,
that he makes, and he uses great,
the more angular.
That's kind of my I do more kind of angular if I can. Roac Leather is another company that makes really great sheaths. If you can, he's usually sold out, but it's just kind of mine is more specific to a certain market of I want enthusiasts, if that makes sense. I like people that go and get a mini harpoon or a bloom or any of the knives like that are within even Bradford Guardian or something or that they can carry, that they can afford to carry. Personally, me, I don't know that I'd want to carry a $500 knife. I'd probably be scared that I'd do something to it, that I'd probably use it for something that it wasn't meant for, and damage it. So, but there, a good solid knife, even at $200-300 range, is it's a worthy investment. If you're carrying it every day, then sure. But like I said, mine is more designed to that EDC type market. That not really. It's something that people actually can afford and carry every day, protect their knife that they have. That's kind of what my target market is. And I like doing fun things with the things that I come up with. I think people, I can do the standard, but there's some knife makers that do the Sheridan carving, which is basically the flowers and cut flowers and stuff, or the old Western type. That's not my thing. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. But I have a really good friend that's what he does, and that's all he does. So it's just your style and what you like to do, and
Well, I think it's awesome that you're taking all like the popular production fixies, and God knows all the production companies are doing them now. TRM, this is a really bad example, but TRM is doing it with like their tag along, but they're actually selling it with a leather sheath.
Right.
And they have the two options. You could do the pancake or the taco. I'm always going to go for taco style over a pancake, just because it takes up less room. Just like yours.
Right.
Yeah, I could put my keys in the pocket and the sheath in the pocket and still have room in my pocket. I personally don't like a lot of things in my pockets.
Right.
Just because when I'm at work, I have all the stuff I need for work in my pocket. So I like to keep my pockets pretty clear of everything. That's why I appendix carry my bloom the way that I do, just because it's easy. I can grab it and go, and I can put all the other work stuff I have in my pocket. But that's just like I told you, I think offline, and I may have said it, when it comes to like EDC fixed blades, especially, people are very particular in how they like to carry them. So it's awesome that you could send you a insert fixed blade here, and you could be able to provide them exactly what they want,
right?
With whatever they need, without maybe some of the filigree and all the stamping and everything else that you would do.
Right.
Like Jim says he loves a basket weave, which you could do.
Right.
But I like how, so you guys on this one, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show this.
I did it on this one.
Here, I'm going to show it on this one. But I sent him, I have to put the right knife in there for this. So I sent him, so Shawn had the black burlap micarta bloom and for the sheath. So he did almost a burlap look to the sheath. So he did a custom look to that sheath. So that was a nice touch. I
did the same thing on, this is you can kind of maybe see it a little.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, and that's kind of because the burlap micarta
on the Kaiser.
On the handle. So that's why I did. But this is, and this is that rich brown. This is called mahogany, is the dye, and I just like the blue on there because it pops. And
it does. I like you're not afraid of color.
Oh no, not at all. That's a thing with me that makes it makes it fun, because it is fun. Like I said, this one, the purple, and then it's it's, the knife is a hare, and then it's got the tortoise tortoise in the hair. It's things like that or this where the handle and the sheath match, and I'm not afraid of color.
I love that. That's awesome.
This is one that I did that's the black and red for the tenable, and so I just did the reverse on this.
Oh, well, cool. Did you put that logo?
Yeah, I put that on there. Yeah, correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of matchy, but that's the fun part, is that I'm one of those kind of EDC guys where I kind of like everything to match. But that's the cool thing about doing this, is that I can get away with, I can do the blacks, I can do the browns, but I do like experimenting. I do like trying new things. Not everything I do is in that tie-dye color. Not everything I do is I can do single colors. I can do whatever, because maybe somebody doesn't want their their carry to be busy. They want, hey, I just want a standard, brown sheath with, maybe that's what they want, and that's their preference to do that. And
because even like something like this where you had the colors and then you did the little pop of the blue stitching on there is pretty cool. And people are a fan of your stamp on there, so that is awesome. Your stamp.
Yeah. So even speaking of like colors, is that sometimes I'll even take it as far, like with this sheet that I did for my wife's little big knife. With the colors, if you look at the thread's all different. See, it's a multicolored thread. So sometimes I'll experiment with different threads too. So it just makes it fun. That's what I like. That kind of stuff.
That is awesome. That definitely does that. He needs to see my posts. Yes. You need to see Jim's post. He carries like 2 pouches, and every day he's got the knife sticking up in something. So on Instagram, Jim Miller, you can check out Jim. Jim's a good guy. He's been in the community. He's a great guy. Great guy.
I'm writing that name down as we speak. So
yeah, there you go. He's got his pouch. Have you done a Dust Devil? The Kubi Dust Devil.
I have not.
So this is the Kubi Dust Devil.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed by our buddy KC Knives Fast here on YouTube. Tempest Knives is his company. He OEMs his own knives. But this is his fixed blade.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the knife. I have not done a sheath for that one, but I'm very familiar with that knife.
Okay, very good. Because it comes with the pancake sheath. This is my knife. Of course, I'm not a fan of the pancake sheath, so I made a Kydex sheath for it. And at the time that I posted this, everybody kind of hit me up and they were excited and they were like, I'll send you my Kubi, I want you to make me a Kydex sheath. And I was like, whoa, I'm not opening that door. I did it for me.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
like, but I'm
Yeah.
way
There's
too busy to do that.
yeah, there's and I could do like you said earlier, the pancake style for pocket carry. I could do that as well. It's like you said, it's a lot. It takes up a lot of pocket. It really does. And the bigger you get, because you figure like on a taco style sheet, you'll have something like this. Well, we take this part and double it over here, so now it's this wide. So yeah, we can do them, but if that's what people want. But
when it comes to small EDC fixed blades,
right,
it's got to be a taco sheath.
Yeah.
It's just my personal preference.
That's my preference as well.
And
yeah.
a lot of so that my journey with this Kubi making my production model, I had very little interaction with them with what was to be expected, and I was totally expecting the sheath to be a pancake sheath. That's just because a lot of production companies are they're doing pancake style sheaths for their
Right.
Kydex, like your deckhand, or maybe not the harpoon. I think the harpoon came with a taco, but
yeah, it did. Yeah,
there's a lot of ones that they do the taco. So when this came out and I finally got to see pictures on the website, I was like, yes, it's a taco sheet. I was so excited.
Yeah, this one. Yeah,
they did it so well.
This one came with the pancake style Kydex sheet that I bought, and it's like, it's a lot of, for a small knife, it takes up a lot of pocket. So yeah, I got rid of that and built that, and that's kind of what started me. Was just there are things of my preference that I wanted, like with you with the Kydex and making Kydex. You know what you like and you know what you want. So, but yeah, that's same thing with me. I wanted to make something that I would carry, and then I started getting requests, and then just kind of showing off pictures and stuff, and feel like I want that, and then that's kind of how the journey began, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Rory says he'll contact you. Yeah, you'll probably end up having to send him the knife, Rory, for him to make sure he's wet forming that so it's comfortable.
Yeah, like I said,
that's just the ideally way to do it.
Yeah, I mean anything else, because what I don't want is people is to spend the money on a sheet and then they get it and it not fit correctly, or the knife not go in there, or it's too much, and they're like, it's kind of a waste. Why did I spend the money on this? And I want people to be proud of what they have and what they carry, and that's the reason we do the wet form. I take a picture of the knife when I get it, so we see what condition it's in, and catalog that, and then it's usually right now I'm at a 7-day lead time on sheaths, but
it's not bad. 1 week on a sheath. I knew a guy in the community who waited over a year to get his knife back with the sheath. Right.
Yeah, now I say that, but the more complex the knife is, the harder it is to make a sheath for. Some of the blade shapes that you get or can be really difficult, especially when you get something like a Persian blade like that. I mean, it's got the tips right here, so you're dragging against a sheath, so you gotta fit it to where you know how to do it. But yeah, here's a good example of the pancake style Kydex, that it came with, something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's some of depending on the kind of shapes, but most people that carry a fixed blade EDC style, like just the everyday use, it's more of a traditional blade. So the lead time on those is not too bad, but anything that starts getting where I have to get creative with it, it's gonna take some time to design it and put it together. And
well, that was going to be my question. What's a lead time on that? So a week turnaround that's pretty good.
Yeah, so
that's pretty good. Excellent, Rory. You know somebody who does kydex in Virginia. You sent him axes and axe hatchets. That's cool. Picaroon Tools First Mate, or whatever it was called. The Picaroon Tools First Mate?
Yeah. No, that's the this is the Picaroon Tools Jektar. It's made in Bulgaria, I believe.
Ah, there you go.
It takes about a month.
Look at 1930. Look at Terry coming in.
Yeah, that's the it's kind of that kind of goes with my if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see kind of my pirate theme carry that I have on there, where I've got the lighter that's got the Zippo pirate kind of lighter, and it's like an old pirate ship, and it's just fun stuff.
Yeah, Jim, they're starting to. We're hoping that they get rid of those giant tech locks on the production stuff that hardly anybody uses, like unless you're putting it on a pack, but nobody usually uses those big things. One day they'll get rid of those, but they're coming. I know some of the knives coming out have coming with different clips, so that's a good thing. We'll see what the Kubi does with my next two. We'll see what they do with the next two. I did show him my Talon, Rory. I did show him the Talon. But that actually, the tip going down would probably be easier than a tip going up. I'm just guessing.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
As a deckhand, it curves. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. I like for this one, I just do a straight, kind of thing. But you can curve the end of it if you want, kind of like the multicolored one that I showed you, or you can curve it on the end and put the stitching on this side and a little bit on this side, but it's still a taco-ish type sheet. So
I want double thick tech locks. I can regret my choices. Nice. Yeah, they're great on military type. The tech, they're talking about the tech locks. Do you know what those look like? I don't even have one here.
I do. That's and again, there's some people that's their preference. I usually take them if I see a sheath with a tech lock, even if it's a kydex sheath. That's the first thing I take off and put another clip on it. I just because I don't carry.
You're an intelligent human being. That's why.
Well, I just don't. I guess maybe on a backpack it would be kind of useful if you're camping or something, and you don't have access to your pockets. But primarily,
if you're going hunting or camping or that kind of thing, you need a larger fixed blade or and you keep it on your pack. That's a different thing. But carrying it on your person. I'm just me personally. I'm not a fan. And again, everybody's different. Some people want to carry like you do. I mean, they want to carry the appendix, or they want to carry scout carry or whatever. I just don't. I don't see the tech lock. I don't see a need for me to use it. But people carry them. Some people like them, and it's all preference. It's all what if you prefer carrying that, then carry away. I make fun of it because that's the first thing that I take off everything, because the tech lock came with the bloom. When you buy the bloom, you're gonna get a tech lock, and the tech lock is almost as big as the sheath.
Right? Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
You're right.
So that was the first thing that I tossed. But you could put an ulti clip on there. Because this is how I carry, and I put a loop on all of my knives that I sell. They come with a loop, but whoever buys it can take the loop off and put whatever they want on it. I don't care, but I'm going to at least provide you with that.
Yeah, and some of them have like this type of where you can belt carry that or pocket carry that kind of.
Yeah.
They have those, and so to be honest with you, the knives that any knife that I've seen lately, I've seen a few now that are coming in without any clip at all on them. It's just the kydex sheath, and do with what you will with it. That's kind of their thing.
Which that sometimes that might be just better. I don't know. So
right.
It all kind of depends. When I get big fixed blades, and take them off and make a leather dangler. Well, that's because you're a leather maker. So it's easy for you. Yeah, no, audio is good here, Blue. I'm not having any issues. I left the tech lock on my Vosteed Mink. Vosteed Mink. I'm not familiar with that. It was a larger one, though.
Yeah, the Vosteed. Oh, I just saw it the other day.
Rotated it for horizontal carry. Okay.
Yeah, you could do that with it. Yeah.
I'm looking it up. I want it. Oh, okay, yeah. It's a larger one, though. That's a larger one.
Yeah. And really and again, this is just my preference. I think I try to stick with knives that are 6 inches long, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little over 7 inches. So that one's a little over 7.
Yeah. So, stuff like this. This is the Kaiser hair. This is 7 inches long. That's a little bit too big for pocket carry. I mean, I have a pocket sheath for it. It'll probably work. This is more like for, if you're, like I said, if you're going camping or something like that, and this is all that's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, I like the smaller fixed plates myself. Just
same here. Like even like I have a size preference for sure with some of mine. Like this is a Hawk, but I like this. This gets in there, but actually I had it earlier. This is almost too long for me to carry the Dust Devil, and the only thing that saves it is because it's so thin.
Right.
But I mean, it's a pretty long, stretched out blade, but because it's so thin, it has a slimmer profile, and because I did the taco sheath for it, that totally saves that carry on that. Because when you're adding just the same amount on the other side, then it becomes a little bit too bulky for me.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the mini harpoon. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty thin,
Yeah.
So.
No worry, Jim. You're fine. I'm not judging. I'm just joking. It's just the tech lock is not my thing. So, but I get it. They love the purple dye. 7 inches and under for EDC fixed blade, Jim. Yes. Very good. What is the Dust Devil? The Dust Devil's got to be over 7 inches, though. Where did my ruler go? Sorry, I have to do this. I have to see. Yeah, it's right at 7 inches. Wow. Okay. Yep. Just under 7 inches for that. That's fun. Okay, now I know. No, KC is a good buddy of mine. He's my buddy. But yeah, he does great stuff. I was worried after carrying yours on my belt up front that it would be too long, but it's just like you said, thin. You don't even notice it. Yeah. Are you talking about the Bloom? Because that's how I carry it on the front. And I don't even know it's there half the time, but that's just because I'm so used to carrying like my custom that it disappears. Or are you talking the Hawk? Even the Hawk, because it's such a thin handle, it disappears. But that's just me. Yeah, it's 7. Yeah, Jim, it is 7 inches. So this is awesome. Like there's so many cool things with all these sheaths that I don't even know where to start, because I mean, I like that you sent several different options for me to be able to show off on future stuff, different designs, different styles. I definitely like something like that.
Right.
You have the different options to do something. And the knife really disappears in that too, which is nice, because then that's a nice just package to have in the thing. Because that's for me. I want to be able to carry it on my belt and like just totally forget it's there.
Right.
I don't. And then when it's there, I just be able to pull it out, use it, put it back in, without having to like look over my belly and everything else and trying to get stuff in. So that is really cool. So you have a 7 month or 7 day turnaround.
Correct.
If they reach out to you, say, hey, I got this knife, can you do it for me? What's the process? You might try to work out, okay, well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for appendix carry, pocket dropper, that kind of thing, colors, stitching, like all of these things. Obviously, dyeing and all that kind of is going to up the price on something. Besides just something like a nice rich brown or black's probably going to be. So what's
the base? Correct.
What's a price range? What's the bottom range, and then probably the top?
So bottom range right now is at 65 for, but sometimes we run a special, like where I ran one for the mini harpoon that was 50. So right now the starting price is at 65, and then which is, I mean, it's reasonable. And if people want different things on there or upgrade to different colors and different material, things like that, then it goes up from there, kind of custom to what. I try to keep it within no more than $100 range. I think if anything, if people are looking for, and again, this is just my market, if people are looking for something a little bit, with better, more expensive leather, anything like that, there are designers out there that do that. That's not, my typical market for that. But I try to get affordable, but functional, something that every person can afford, and still have a good sheath carry.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's very fair for a custom leather sheath. That is a very fair price to start with on that. You're interested in checking one out for the collab I did with Corey. So that he wants to get one for a custom that I did with a collaboration I did with another knife maker. Mm-hmm. But it's EDC size fixed blade, so you should have no issues doing that. Because like even custom knives, you do custom knives and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So absolutely. And that's the thing, is that there's so many great knife makers out there, and a lot of them will drop a different design, or they may have a different model, and they change it up. Not every the big box knife stores are great. That's one area we focus on too. But yeah, no, absolutely custom. We do. I make sheaths for knife makers too. I mean, knife makers, there's a few that I have in the works that they send me the knife and, hey, I need 10 of these, or I need 15 of these, or whatever it may be. And we design it because they're coming out with a model, they're building, they've already taken orders, or they're in the process of building, and they'll send me, like, here's the prototype of the knife that I'm using. I need 10 of these. They get form it. I send everything back with the knife to the knife maker, so then they can
I'm gonna have to hook you up with my buddy Corey Hawley. I don't know if you've heard of Corey Hawley or you've heard of him. He's out of Riverview.
Okay.
So that's not terribly far from, that's kind of like Tampa area, probably.
Yeah, I used to work in Riverview, so I'm very familiar with the area.
So he's out of Riverview. He's a custom knife maker, and he is in the works of trying to go public with trying to put out a production line, self-production line. Like, he's going to start a knife company where he is just pumping out blades. So he's me and him did a collaboration where it was my pattern, and then he did some really cool nightmare grinds on them, and different steels, and then I did the handles on them, and then so we did a collaboration back and forth. But if he's doing this knife company, he might want some leather sheath work, so I'll definitely
absolutely
hook him up with you, see if he's interested in doing that. I know he's doing some really cool stuff. Rory says Shawn will want to keep that knife after he wet molds it.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about that. That is a kind of an interesting thing about what I do, is that I think I mentioned earlier. I'm not really a knife collector. I mean, I have a lot of knives, but just being able to see different kind of knives and getting the ideas from the different types of blades, blade shapes, blade material, getting inspiration from that to build the sheath that complements the knife. But I do get to see my share of knives that come in, and it's always fun.
Yeah. Rory, did you get the Damascus one? I can't remember. I can't remember every person, and I've done so much stuff. So what's up, Sobix? What's going on, man? Thanks for lurking, just hanging out. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. You guys are awesome. All my channel members, thank you for being channel members. Just so you guys know, channel members, if you haven't checked out my post for today, I did share a picture of the Raptor. I showed Shawn before the the live stream, but I haven't really shared that publicly yet. I'm not really ready to share it publicly yet, but okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, you got the Black Pearl one. Okay, Rory. Yeah, that was a good one too. Shawn got the Damascus ones. Yep. See, I can't remember everything, guys. I just can't remember everything. Does the name Three Feathers have a significant meaning to you, or how did you come up with that name?
Yes,
Good question, Shawn.
I have 3 daughters. Yeah. So, yep. Feather in my cap, right? So
There you go.
Yeah. I have 3 daughters, Sophia, Ava, and Emily. So that's kind of where that idea came from.
That's awesome. And and I don't know if this is true, but when you get your sheath, guys, you get this really cool bookmark.
That's correct.
Yeah. Which doubles as a strop. So I know Denise got hers. It has his logo on it, and it's a really nice leather, really quality. And he already packs it with all of the polishing compound on it so that you can strop your knives. And I have a couple. You guys don't get this one because it has my initials on it. Sorry. But I do have some for some future giveaways. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subs here on YouTube, and I'm going to be giving away when I get to 4,000. I'm only 600 away. That's all. But I'm going to be giving away a Kubi Bloom because I have an extra blue one. So I'm going to be giving away one of these, guys, just so you guys, just a reminder to spread the word about AriesEDC and what I'm doing. You guys can watch me build knives and do things, so it'll be cool to do. Great name choice. People like that. See, there's always a little story behind something like that. Hold the sheath up where you actually use different colors on your logo on the feathers. That looks super cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. So, because that's the colors we use, and you see that one, awesome. And then on this one as well.
Heck yeah.
So some people, when they want, and then this is another one, what we did with the.
That's awesome.
Some people just want and then of course this one, because it's all, black and red. I just did it all in black. But that's some people awesome. Just want just the stamp there. Don't need to color it in. Just leave it there. It takes a little time to do that, a little extra time. But some people just want, some people want straight black. That's all I want on it. Straight black, straight brown. And that's their preference.
Rory, we haven't gotten that far. His question was, with your custom orders, when you get on the books, could this be an add-on for us to purchase from you? Yeah, I mean, it depends. Shawn and I have to work out. We've chatted briefly about what that could look like, but we haven't gotten into the nitty-gritty details of that. So, Rory, I'm not opposed to it. It's just not something I'm ready to add right now until if it is Shawn and I definitely, it's not a quality issue. That is definitely not it. It's just we have to work out the financial nitty gritty on that as far as what costs are. But yeah, that could be something in the future we do, Rory. That is definitely something we could do in the future. Maybe in 2026, we could work something out with that. But I am not opposed to doing that because I know some people would rather have leather for an upgraded charge for that, where I'm going to just send your knife when I'm done with it to Shawn to do the sheath for it, and then when it comes back, I'll do the finishing touches and work that out. But if Shawn's not opposed to it, then I'm not opposed to it.
No, I'm not opposed to that at all.
Yeah.
I love working with knife creators and yeah.
And then when the girls are ready for some bagels again, we can just
right. Yeah. That's all right. They want the Bagel King. Yeah. For people that don't know the story, that's in Orlando area. There's a Bagel King, which is a bagel place, and one of my daughters came to me because I had to go pick up some leather supplies, and they said, "Daddy, can we come with you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, they want to learn leather." And no, they wanted to go because there's a bagel place next door, and that's the only reason they wanted to go. So, oh man, but
that bagel place is good though, guys.
Yeah,
I grew up with the Bagel King, and that was the best bagels. And my dad's from New York, and that was the only bagels he would go get was from the Bagel King.
It is good.
Italian Jewish people own that place, and that's what I am. My mom's Italian, my dad Eastern European Jewish. So there we go. Denise, 4.5 or 2.5 by 4.5, nice slip that's showing cream purple would run about how much?
So what's the size? What knife? I mean, it depends kind of like on the knife and the size about what type of knife we're looking at.
Yeah, 2.5 by 4.5. I mean, that's about roughly the size of the bloom sheath.
Yeah.
Well, that's only 1.5, depending which one she got. A 2.5 wide sheath, that's a pretty actually wide sheath.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, because this is a 7-inch knife. This is pretty wide, and this is, I mean, you can see there compared to, that's pretty big. But I mean, it depends on the knife. Yes, I can. Some of the knives, like the deckhand's a great example. That's a wide blade. So yeah, I can. I mean, we can work. We're probably. It depends on the color scheme that you're wanting. If you want, the mixed purple. I'd have to see the knife and get the dimensions of the knife. But the starting range for the knives or the sheaths are 65, and they kind of go up a little bit from there. But it's usually within most of the knife sheaths are $6,500 range is the very top end. So yeah, it's definitely doable.
Yeah. They will be grown before we know it, Jim, won't they? You guys met Bryn. My daughter is in college, and she just got back from Europe. She was at an archaeological dig in Romania.
Oh, wow.
And spent 6 weeks over in Eastern Europe. And then she traveled around, and I had her on a live stream and we shared her whole story. But she's 21 years old now, my little girl. So definitely, that definitely goes foul. Not a sheath, a knife slip. So she wants a knife slip. So not a wet molded sheath, I'm assuming, just a slip that's 2.5 by 4.5.
So typically, like I mentioned before, this is just my preference. In order to make sure the knife fits properly, a lot of that has to do with the thickness of the knife. So without knowing the thickness of the knife itself, typically, we talked about this before, is just a typical measurements, because people ask me that measurement question a lot. Do you do measurements? It's something that I would definitely need the knife to make. Again, the sheath started, start at 65. I mean, obviously, if you're, repeat customer, that's, that could be, I can give a discount, which I did, like with some of the referrals that I got from Scott, got a discount. One of the referrals did. So, repeat customers definitely, that is something that we do accommodate. So.
Very, very cool. What was I going to ask? You're saying we. So is that like you and your partner are together in this one?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. The partner actually made the shirt. So. My kids, in fact, have gone to leather classes and stuff, and believe it or not, we have pictures of them at the weather. Yeah, it's I do most of the, I do the builds and everything like that. But yeah, when I say we, it's part of our family. There's a lot that are with the support.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't say we when it comes to my stuff because my wife really wants. She's tired of me showing her knives now.
Yeah, mine is too. So yeah, no, when I build, yeah, I mean the build and everything is with me, but I do on occasion have little helpers.
I'll bring stuff to her and be like, "What do you think these colors will be?" And
I do, yeah, I do that.
I'll do
And
that.
I get feedback. And I ask my daughters, what do you think of this? And how do you like this? And what color would you use? What color thread would go? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Whoa, Bluminati, you became a member? You were already a member. I thought you were a member. Welcome to back being a member, my friend. There you go. You get to snake. Talent salute to you, my friend. Thank you very much for becoming a member again. I have Bluminati shared some pictures you might want to be interested in. So go look at my posts. I'm just saying. Thank you very much, Blue. Talent salute to you, my friend. Talent. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. I was supposed to show that one, not the other one. I shared with you guys offline about these things that I did. I'll share this one, guys. The Talon's looking good. The JG10 looking pretty good. Coming soon, you guys. You will love that. Yeah, if he sees the picture of the other one that we do not speak of, that I have been speaking of, it's kind of crazy. So what do you have any goals for yourself? Do you set goals? Are you trying to get with more knife companies, more knife makers, or you're just happy to get any business you can?
Bit of both. Yeah, I'm always like working with the different knife makers that are out there to see what they have, what they create, what they come up with. And I do work with knife makers that, like I mentioned, they'll ship me a knife. I do the design and ship back. I like seeing the creativity that they have with their designs, because it's not the traditional, buck knife that you grew up with, where everybody had the buck knife or the old timer, and that was the same. There's a lot of different steels. There's a lot of different handle materials. And there's a lot of different blade shapes now. So it's fun to work with them. Obviously, we're always looking for new customers, but the thing that drives me is just to challenge myself to do something or build something that I haven't built before, or come up with a design idea that I haven't done before, or try to find a better way to carry a different design or whatever somebody wants. That's kind of where the artistic side of it comes from. If it's to me where it's just, if I have to drag myself out to go do it, I won't be doing it. I wouldn't want to do it if it's one of those. I take excitement and joy in what I do. I take pride in what I do and what I build. So yeah, as long as that's there, and there's, I don't want to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. There are designs that are tried and true. They're all, similar, but as kind of puts it back on, people like yourself, the knife makers, the more that you come up with different ideas, different designs, that inspires me too. And that challenges me to, to build something different. I know what I am and I know what I'm not. And I know the styles that I don't like or don't prefer. They may be great for some people, but there are things that I want to do with the design and things like that, and try different aspects of it. Yeah. So as long as knife producers or knife makers are still making great knives, then yeah,
that's awesome. Illuminati, a member for 11 months. I think he saw a picture, guys. I think he may have seen a picture. He's doing his dance. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Ron Dobbins, what's going on? He did just see the posts. I posted the picture of that big knife, that a bigger version of this one, just for my channel members. So that's where, and he was the inspiration behind making that one. So it was crazy. Oh my God, Raptor. Shawn has seen it, Blue. Shawn has seen it. Everyone make sure to subscribe. Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much. And hit that like button, guys. That is awesome. That was cool. Yeah. So here's a question. And I don't know, me as a knife maker, what drove me is after I was done with my first knife, I had this kind of weird epiphany. And I just felt this sense of, I'm losing all my words right now. Just a sense of completion, a sense of pride in what I did. Yes. Do you get that when you
absolutely
when you
yes.
finish a project?
It's kind of it's kind of funny because there's some builds that I do and I'm like, I really did that. And that's really cool. And then it's like, okay, well, shipping that off. So there are some really pretty builds that I've done that I'm just like, kind of wish I could keep that. And but no, there's a definite sense of pride because I've had in the past where I've reached out to other early on, especially where I didn't have the capability, and I'd reach out and come up with, this is what I want to do, and it would come out completely different from my vision. So it was kind of frustrating. So the fact that okay, this is exactly what I want, and it's nice that people respond to it, and people like it. But in some of the things that I try to do, I'll try to build something, and I'll maybe try something new, and it works out. It's not really what I had in mind, but it may turn out better. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. So, I mean, it's a sense of wonder in one aspect because you don't really know what some things are going to look like, I guess. But then again, there's definitely a sense of, this is great. This is awesome. I'm glad I did this because this is, and it's, I think my friends on Facebook and family are probably tired of seeing cheap photos, but it's like, God, another one.
But that's kind of what drives me. It's that after I'm able to complete something, taking raw materials and then turning it into, for me, being a usable tool.
Right.
Or for you, something that is usable that people will enjoy. Yes. There is a sense of pride, and that's what keeps me going to the next thing, whether it's coming up with a new design and seeing it through, and then coming at the other end of it where you have a completed project that is just really cool. And just so you guys know, the micros are coming. I'm making 2 of these. The micros are coming. They are coming. I'm just I can share that one. I'm not ready to share the Raptor quite yet. Whoa, Rory Calhoun. What is going on? Booyah from a very happy 3-peat Aries EDC custom production factory model. Very cool. Thank you very much, Rory. You're awesome, man. Thank you so much for your support. Your Aries EDC collection is definitely growing. That is for sure. That is awesome. And I have my new rattlesnake sound that I'm using for that. That is awesome. I like more Rapture for Bluminati. Yeah, I know. He wants to see it, but he saw it, Jim. He saw it.
Well, Scott, I appreciate you having me up. This time for me to get my kiddos into bed, but
hey,
I can't thank you enough for and everybody here that came and with your questions. I was a real privilege to be here, and I really enjoyed it. So
excellent. Thank you so much for coming on. And guys, please make sure you're checking out Feathers EDC, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What's your preference for people to reach out to you if they're looking for something?
I check them all, so I really don't have a preference. It's whatever's easiest for them.
Yep. Check them out. Shawn, thank you again for coming on. That was an awesome chat. I'm really glad.
Thank
And
you,
I definitely will be hitting you up to figure out maybe some options for next year.
That sounds great. I appreciate it so much, Scott.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, have a good night.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was awesome, guys. Thank you so much to Shawn for coming in and doing that. Oh, don't let me forget the package hatchet. Oh, yeah, that's right. You do have the package hatchet. The micro. Yeah, that is the micro. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Look, there's 2 of these. I'm doing 2 of them. And Jack Wolf did it to me again, where he released something that is similar, but this is different than what he did. Last time was the spike, where he got me with the spike, and this is the micro. But it's going to be quite some time. Those are both going to be a Nitro V, so they're both going to be a Nitro V. I have to send those out to get them done. Kevin Smith and Knives, what is going on? I'm waiting for the micro. The macro? I have a macro. The macro's right here. That's the micro. That's just the crow. That's just a crow. It's the crow. We have a link for 3 Feather. I don't know. Any of my mods can throw up some links for that. That'll be awesome. Yeah, thanks for having him. It was cool. God, in the crow. The Max Crow? No, I'm not going any bigger than that. You're going to have to find some other crazy knife maker to do that. Well, that was awesome, guys. It was great chatting with Shawn. And I got to tell you, I mean, look, he sent me these 4 sheaths to check out. And every single one is quality. Every single one works really well in their own little way. So it kind of all depends on what you're interested in. I plan on keeping this one probably because it's set up particularly for me and what I like to carry. And maybe I'll do some giveaways with these. The only issue with them is they only fit your Kubi Bloom. So if you have a Kubi Bloom, maybe when I get to 4,000 subs here on YouTube, I am 600 away. But once I get to 4,000 subs here on YouTube, maybe I'll give one of these away. Actually, I can give one away with your Kubi Bloom that you're winning. I'll let you choose which one you want. And then the other ones we can do on future giveaways. But you have to have a Kubi Bloom for it to be worth anything. So I don't know. That would be cool. Just what had posted on the pictures of the sheaths he sent you, I was 100% sold. Yeah. I mean, even something similar or simple design like that for the pocket sheath, if you're looking for a nice just pocket dropper, I mean, you're not going to go wrong. You can't go wrong. The sheath is, you can pull out the knife easily. It's not coming out. And if you're just slipping that in your pocket, he does really awesome work. I'm hoping maybe we can work something out where in the future, if you guys want a leather sheath instead of a Kydex, we can work on a different price point for that. Maybe next year. But we'll see. I'd love to see 1930 Leatherworks on your show sometime. Yeah, I need to get them on. Trouble Bunny, I would love to get them on. That's on me. I've been so slammed with everything, and Shawn kind of reached out to me, and I kind of did it. So, if 1931, you're still on here and you're willing to come on, let me know. I know some people aren't comfortable with this, so if you're comfortable with it, let me know. If you give them to people without blooms, they might be inclined to go buy one. Well, this is very, very true, Jim. This is very, very true. Or when they do buy them, at least they'll have the sheath for it. Y'all hear angels and hearts? I just saw the raptor. Oh, blue. Wait, I gotta turn that off. I bought 2 bird and trout fixed blade minis from my friend, knife designer on the East Coast. He also makes the leather sheaths, and he puts a Bible verse inside each one with them before he sews up. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. I told you it was a rapture. What's up, Cheeto? What's going on, Cheeto? I hope you're doing well. Awesome. So anyway, guys, that was a great conversation. I hope you guys appreciate that. I'm trying to get more makers on. It's a lot of work trying to set that up. So I've been so busy with stuff that I haven't been able to reach out to as many people as I can. But if 1931 Leatherworks, if you're listening to this and you want to come on, hit me up on Instagram, and I would be more than happy to work something out for you. You'll see him next year when you make it to Blade Show for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be at Blade Show. This is why I've been so busy. That's why I've been doing extra builds like this one and the micro and all of those things. So, Cheetosaurus, the raptor lives. The raptor lives. Here, what can I show you guys? I will show you. I have it here, and I will show you this. That's what I can show you. That's what I can show you. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I've had a lot of interest in that. This is a lot of interest in this thing. That is for sure. A lot of interest. Some people are throwing out some numbers that are pretty ridiculous that make it very difficult. But there you go. If you are a channel member, you've seen a picture of it. If you're a member of my Patreon, you've seen a picture of it. So, just saying, membership has its privileges. The raptor is amazing. Yeah. Just for me, Kathleen, just for me to be holding it in my hand and that I made it a reality is ridiculous. The Bluminati's pipe dream come true. And I got to tell you, I won't be doing another one very soon. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, Rory, you got to be in bed. 3:30 a.m. comes early. Yeah, I got to call this one too. Where am I at on this one? I got to be at least almost 2 hours in. Oh, no, I got 10 more minutes, but I'm going to end this one up. Good night, Rory. Have a good evening. The matchy match doesn't bother me that you respond in a private message to me, just like my 2 bird and trout knives. They're not the same color handles either. Okay. Very cool. Excellent. I'll have to check that out again, Rory. But very cool knives. All right. Well, make sure you guys are checking out 3 Feather EDC and doing that. Next week, I'm hoping it'll probably just be me. And then maybe I can get another maker on the following week to do that. And I'm probably going to be done with this. All I have left on the Talon is a sheath, the bead, the lanyard, and sharpening. Again, that thing came pretty thin at the tip, just like the other Talon. So it will be very sharp. I can guarantee that one's going to end up being very, very sharp. And then the Raptor, I still have to do the sheath and sharpening on this one as well. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Getting out of here for the first time with the #1 crow. Crown. Really? You got the crown? Oh, he does have the crown. All right. I don't see the crowns on this. I have to look on my side screen that I have set up. But thank you. Look at all those logos. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rory. Thank you very much for being a great supporter of the channel. Very, very cool. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call this one. Thank you guys so much for coming in. This upcoming week, Thursday, we're going to do live stream from the shop, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be probably working on the micros. So I have the 2 micros. I have these 2 that we'll be working on. So I have the 2 micros that I got cut out and shaped, and this one. This is a design sent in by one of you guys. Sent it in, and I'm bringing it to life for that person. So it's a fun little EDC fixie, really comfortable. So really, really cool that we'll do that. Brian F., what's going on, man? Jesse, what's going on? But yeah, I'm going to end this one here. Got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things to do, and you guys are awesome. So please make sure you are subscribed. Hit that like button. Leave a comment or not. That choice is always yours. Bye, guys.